morning, everyone. Today we'll be taking Scottish skirt. So today we'll be taking Scottish skirt, and to take the Scottish skirt, I'd like to explain what the Scottish skirt is to you. So it's the skirt that the Scottish wear. Okay, so to break it down more, you notice the skirts, the way is all these men, the Scottish men wear is the skirt with the pleat. There are different designs of the Scottish skirt. You can decide to do it the pleat all around. You can decide to do some straight without the pleat. You can just Google it and see different designs. So as I always tell you, there are different ways to make one skirt, but we'll teach you the basics and then you improvise and find your own creativity from there. So today I'll be doing the wrap Scottish skirt. So thank God I took wrap skirt, so you all have an idea of how a wrap skirt looks like. So it's just a longer version, so it can overlap. Now the difference between the wrap skirt and the Scottish skirt is the Scottish skirt comes with the pleat, with the knife pleat on it. So how do I get this? I said measurements required. First is my waist measurement and my skirt length measurement. Now how do I do the calculation for my waist measurement? It's just like you do your when you do your gather skirt, or when you want to do your pleat skirt, we'll tell you take your waist measurement times 3 plus 10. Now for the Scottish wrap skirt, because we want it to be wrapped, we don't just want it to go around the whole waistline and then you're good. We want it to be a little bit more than the waistline, so it can wrap, so one can go in and the other one can go over it. So we do times 4. So that's your waist measurement times 4 plus 10 inches. So I'll be using 20 inches as an example for this class. So that's 20 inches times 4 plus 10. That gives me 90 inches, while my skirt length is 12 inches. Now another thing I like to tell you is the beauty of the Scottish skirt is always when it's short. Please don't go do midi length, long length. No, the beauty always comes out when it's short. So yeah, that's why I'm using 12 inches for my own skirt. So I get my measurements, I do my calculation, and then I have 90 inches. Now the first thing is to get the length of your fabric and the width of your fabric. So cut a long stripe of 90 inches width and 12 inches length. So for example, this is mine. After I've cut it out, please make sure your fabric is well straightened out. You can see we're never making use of paper right away. You're not making use of paper at all. We are going straight to our fabric. So I have the measurement of my fabric. But please, another thing I like to say is don't forget that you have your seam allowance. Don't forget that your skirt has a seam allowance. So this 12 inches is your skirt length must be inclusive of your seam allowance. So my skirt length can be like 10 inches and then I use the 12 inches and use extra 2 inches. That makes it 12 for my hemming allowance. So please don't forget you also have a hemming allowance. So after I've gotten the length and the width, what next do I do? From the edge of my fabric, I mark 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch all the way. So what is the width of my pleats? I'll be using 1 inch for the width of my pleats. Now I like to show you something. So how to pleat your fabric. Let me get you an example. To get this done properly, well, I'll just use this paper as an example. So how do I pleat? I mark here, I mark here, I mark here. That's my 1 inch, my 1 inch, my 1 inch. And I want to pleat it. So the first thing is to hold number 1. You'll be making use of a lot of ironing in this. Hold number 1, let it cover number 2, and it meets at number 3. So you can see that. So I have that pleat. And then I'll hold number 4, do the same thing, continue to do it continuously. So I just wanted to show you how you get to fold your pleat so you don't make a mistake. So I mark 1 inch all the way and then I number it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. So number it to whatever length you have, and then you do the same thing I just did on the paper. You replicate it on the fabric. So pick number 1, fold it through number 2, and let it meet number 3. So number 1 is going in to meet number 3, but it's going to cover number 2 and meet number 3. So after you're done with that, you pick number 4, you let it go through number 5 and meet number 6. So number 5 is going in while number 4 is coming to meet number 6. So you can see that. So I'm picking this, is going through, and it's meeting here. I'm picking this, it's going through and it's meeting here, and then you keep doing that all the way. By the time you're done, you're going to have something a bit longer than your waist measurement. Don't forget it's wrap. By the time you're done, please don't forget iron. Always make sure you iron. You make use of your iron. Always make sure you make use of your iron so that your pleats can come out nice. But don't forget you must have held your hemming allowance as well. So by the time you do that, I made a sketch or a drawing on an illustration of how the Scottish skirt looks like. So this is it. So by the time I've done that, I've pleated it and I've ironed it out, I have that long length skirt. Now the difference is we are not leaving the pleats like the knife pleat skirts. No, you are holding it down. So another thing is for you to get your hip depth measurement. Another thing is to get your hip depth measurement. So whatever your hip depth is. So for me, actually, it can be like 4 inches or 5 inches. Get your hip depth measurement. So from the waist all the way down, you know, you are stitching on it. So I already have my pleat. So on each pleat, I am stitching it down. So my hip depth measurement, and I'm leaving from my hip depth measurement all the way to my desired length. I'm leaving it free so the pleats can flow. But from my waist all the way to my hip depth, I'm holding it down, sewing on it. So I'm top stitching on it. So that's why you can see this top stitching, this top stitching, this top stitching. So you top stitch, top stitch, top stitch, and all the way you have your skirt. Don't forget to add your waistband, and please, this time around, you can see we are not making use of ropes. Don't even want to make use of your rope. Just make sure you have this going. This one has the rope, and then you can now tie it to the side. But preferably, I would advise you to either make use of buttons or Velcro. What is Velcro? Velcro is that how do I call it? There's this thing on the canvas. When you go to the market, you can just tell them you want to get Velcro. They call it, some people in market call it open and close. So yes, that's it. That's it for the Scottish skirt. I'll be sending you the sewing allowance. Thank you very much for staying in the class. Good afternoon, everyone. So this is it. I have cut out my length, which I used 11 plus my hemming allowance. This is miniature, so my hemming allowance is 1 inch. So my skirt length is 10 inch plus 1 inch hemming allowance. That's 11 inches. Then I have my length, and then I have my width, which is my waist times 4 plus 10. Yes. So this is it. I have held my hemming allowance. You can see that. So the next thing I do is from the edge of the fabric, I measure my 1 inch all the way. Okay, so you can see it. I folded 1, taking 2 in and meeting 3. So you just fold it and knife it and arrange in the way you arrange your knife pleat, just the same way you do the down part of your hipster skirt. So you do it all the way. So this is it. You can see I pleated it out. Always make use of the pins. It helps your pleating to stand well. Then you can see allowance on this side and allowance on this side, because it's a wrap pleat skirt, so to speak. I left my allowance 1 inch allowance, so I would iron it and then hold it on both sides, iron it and hold it. And so this is it. You can see I've held both sides. So now this is the difference. This is what I was saying, the difference between a normal pleat skirt and a Scottish skirt. I already have my feet. So the next thing I do is I'm going to substitute all to this from this edge, from my waistline all to this point. So this one is my waist to it. Where I want it substituting to top, and then I leave this space like this. I'm going to substitute all the way to this point. I'm going to put it on the machine like this and substitute. Make sure this fabric is using this fabric. So you put all the down like this, and then you substitute from that place all to this point. This is the second part from this line, first to first, and then you do it all the way around. Hey guys, so this is my own skirt. So you can see I've held it. I'm going to use the black thread so you can see how it is held. So I'm going to leave this place and then I wrap it. So please don't forget to put your band. So I said always make use of it's preferable you make use of Velcro or button. Velcro button. Yes, and another thing I would like to tell you is the beauty of this Scottish skirt is always in the fabric. Though yes, I'm not emphasizing on fabric to use, but I would recommend the check fabric. So you can Google it online, Scottish skirt. You see the different types of skirts that will bring out for you. But you see there's always a check fabric. It comes in different colors. It could be red and black. It could be gray and black, depending on whatever color it is. But it's always the check fabric that is always nice. Just like the Scottish, you know the fabric they use, yeah. So this is it. I had my band, and then I have my Scottish skirt. So guys, you can see this is my Scottish skirt. You can see, don't forget to add the band to yours. Yes, that's it. Thank you very much.